Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching this one. I'm back again with another live stream with my PDC World Cup of Darts 2024 live tournament review. Obviously, where we saw England. We saw England for the first time in 8 years since Phil Taylor and Aidan Lewis win the World Cup of Darts with a partnership of Luke Humphries and Michael Smith. Of course, England were favourites before the tournament started with that partnership of Luke Humphries and Michael Smith. I had my doubts. I did have my doubts on Michael Smith in the pairs format because we all know he's an incredible player, single player, isn't he, Michael Smith? But in past tournaments, he's struggled. In past World Cup of Darts, he has struggled with being with teammates with, like, I don't know, with Rob Watts, for example, has been one teammate. Michael Smith, James Wade's been another one, hasn't he? And, but yeah, well deserved. It's a well deserved win for England. Well deserved tournament win. By far the best team in the tournament. It just shows Michael Smith found the right partner in Luke Humphries, because Luke Humphries, he's outstanding, isn't he? Luke Humphries is outstanding regardless who he has as his teammate. He's the number one player for England, Luke Humphries. He's the world number one in the world, by the way. Don't let people fool you by saying, oh, look at Luke Yettler, and all this. The rankings are there for a reason. Luke Humphries has won trophies, countless trophies. And I think it's an absolute disgrace, Luke Humphries, in the recognition for winning the World Darts Championship, the biggest tournament of the lot. And the media were more bothered about a 17-year-old reaching the world final. I think that was but that's the media for you. The media only care if you're a 17-year-old. They only care, or if you're a woman, like Van Sherrick. That's not. How about the media, right? How about, I'm done a massive one here. How about the media call out what's fucking happening with this transgender shit in PDC? With Noah Van Nguyen. With Noah. He is a woman. He's wanting to be a woman. And people be like, it's a she. People will say to me, Snowfiest will say to me, well, no, it's a she. No, it's a he. It's a he. He's got a wig on. And you don't see his private parts flopping about here, or on his torso of his body. We'll talk. Come on, we'll talk. How about the media call that out? Talk about this transgender shite in the PDC instead of, look at you, 17 years old. 17 years old. Albeit, you get it, unbelievable player. Absolutely unbelievable player for his age. He's won the Premier League Darts as well. But it's getting too much now. It is getting too much as media attention on new player. Just leave him alone, man. Leave him alone. So, but that's me just on the tantrum there. But it's true though, it's relating to Luke Humphries, because Luke Humphries is not getting the recognition he deserves. He's the best player in the world. He's the best darts player in the world right now. And it's just madness. It is madness and insanity the amount of trophies he's already won, Luke Humphries, in these past 3 months. But yeah, he doesn't get recognised. Shocked. Absolute shocked. But that's the media for you. But yeah, well deserved tournament win anyways for England. Humphries and Smith pretty much unstoppable, weren't they? Once both of them are on it, it's just unstoppable. And we were all saying, oh, it should have been Luke Yettler next to Luke Humphries. That's going to be even more pretty unstoppable, I'm telling you. But it's England's first World Cup of Darts since Phil Taylor and Aidan Lewis won it as a pair, which was 8 years ago, I think they said. And they defeated Austria Austria, not bad. Austria, not a bad team, were they? This tournament. Mensa Sulfus, while with John Rodriguez. Mensa Sulfus, well experienced. While with John Rodriguez, I think he's starting to grow, you know. While with John Rodriguez, starting to improve as the years go on. And by the way, Sulfus and while with John Rodriguez I would say they were on the point of using the Tartars, but they've now both qualified for the Transam darts, which should keep hold of their Tartars along they perform for the rest of the year. And Austria, I think that was their second final in this tournament as well. Second final in this tournament. So, been there and done it. Know how to make a one this tournament. And people slept on them as well. People, including myself, slept on Austria with Mensa Sulfus and John Guidez. But as we go on to the semi-finals, who in the Austria beat? Austria defeated Belgium 8-3. Yeah, I'm laughing because Belgium are the most disliked team in probably World Cup of Darts history. Dimitri van den Berg and Tim Huybrechts. The only one, they were sensational, obviously, earlier in the tournament, then to the Netherlands, smashing the Netherlands off Belgium. But for me, Dimitri van den Berg and Tim Huybrechts, two of the most disliked players in darts, in my opinion. And all the talk was about them two disliking each other. And for me, I still, no, I think it's the failure. I think Belgium failed in this World Cup of Darts. They should be reaching the final. After beating the Netherlands, you should be beating Austria, in my opinion. You've got to be beating Austria. I'm sorry, but I think Austria have had more of a successful tournament than pretty Belgium. And this is the thing about Belgium, Dimitri van den Berg and Tim Huybrechts. They love to talk. But they don't walk the walk. Simple as that. And they were saying, who's Michael van Deurwen? Shut up, you fucking clowns. Shut up. Who's Michael van Deurwen? Well, how about who's Dimitri van den Berg and who's Tim Huybrechts? I know I've had sympathy for Tim Huybrechts because of obviously the injuries suffered at a football game. When he went to watch football game, it's not really Tim Huybrechts for me. It's more Dimitri van den Berg. Fucking all this dancing on stage before. All this dancing on stage, really taking his time, throwing his darts as well. Obviously, I know he's a UK Open winner. He just doesn't need to do that, Dimitri. Dimitri van den Berg doesn't need to do that. So I do think he is a fucking talent. He's a talented player. But he don't need to do that nonsense. He doesn't. So it's becoming disliked now, Dimitri van den Berg, and that's his own fault. That's his own fault for being too arrogant and an egomaniac. And Tim Huybrechts, he's had the more experience in the World Cup of Darts, and he probably did more of the work than Dimitri van den Berg, to be honest, Tim Huybrechts. Which is, you know what, I have to sing his praise with that. I do have to sing Tim Huybrechts' praise with that, especially with the injury he did suffer to his arm, his throwing arm as well. I do have to sing his praises, but again, it's been a failure of the tournament for Belgium. The Belgian players, they know how to talk, but they don't know how to walk the walk. Simple as that. But obviously, I had Scotland as my tournament winners. They got beat off England in the semi-finals. So I was really right, wasn't I? I was almost right with Scotland. And yeah, for me, England were just far too much in the end for Scotland. And then Peter White, he was a bit arrogant as well, wasn't he? Saying, how's your shoulders to Luke Humphreys and all that. You got to walk the walk. All this talk is absolute nonsense, honestly. I don't know why I'm getting so wound up, because it's only the World Cup of Darts. And yes, we real it is. It's only the World Cup of Darts. It's not really a major. It's a bit of a fun tournament really for the doubles, for pairs format. Because no one's going to remember John Henderson. John Henderson has not won a major but yet he has won the World Cup of Darts with Peter White. That's why it can be irrelevant, the PT World Cup of Darts. And look where John Henderson is now. I think he's playing, he's playing the seniors, isn't he? So there were the semi-final results. In terms of quarter-final results, my dark horse is an outsiders. Northern Ireland reached the quarter-finals. I think that's a successful tournament for Northern Ireland. Still a successful tournament. The day of England a bit for them, but England in the end, again, they were just too much for Northern Ireland in the end. Scotland came through a Asia decided than Sweden. Sweden reaching the quarter-final last year, and they did it this year again, Sweden. Again, people slept on them too much as well. I just think people just looked at the partnership and thought, who the hell are these two? That's what they thought, didn't they? But Cheppy de Quaff has been playing good darts before this tournament as well. To be fair, I did have Sweden to get knocked out in the group stages. I did, because I thought they would have. I thought they would have got knocked out in the group stages, but I was proven one. So yeah, I still think successful tournament for Sweden. Back-to-back successful World Cup of Darts tournaments for Sweden, should I say. Austria won an Asia side against Croatia. Croatia, who knocked out the holders in Wales, who had Johnny Kate and Jim Williams as the partnership. I did predict they would knock out Wales, to be honest with you, because it's a massive drop down once Stone Price pulls out, in my opinion. And Croatia, I think it's been a successful tournament for Croatia. I did not really would expect them to beat Austria, to be honest with you. But then they'll probably be disappointed because they have knocked out Wales, and they'll be thinking to themselves, you know what, we should fancy our chances against Austria. But still been a good tournament for Croatia. Boris Krisma and the Dvorak as a pairing. Dvorak has been on the Hero tour events as well, so he's a good little player as well. Dvorak. So he's a good little player for Croatia. So hopefully we'll see more of him. And finally, you saw Belgium win a last set decider against Italy. Again, a successful time for Italy. Italy progressed further, unlike the last World Cup, where they got knocked down the group stages. This time, they ended up reaching the quarterfinals. So a successful tournament for Italy with that partnership of obviously Dale Watson and Marcelo Toretta, of course. The last 16 results then, England obviously were too much for France, ended up beating France 8-3. France were my surprise participates. Northern Ireland ended up beating the host nation Germany. Again, I don't know another rant. Germany are so overhyped in the World Cup of Darts. Germany is so overhyped. Don't get me wrong, Martin Schindler, Daryl Clemens, good players. But at the end, they're overhyped, saying, oh, Dan Dawson, this could be their year. This could be their year. Germany, every year, are so overhyped in the World Cup of Darts. So yeah, they failed, as far as I'm concerned. They failed because people overhyped them. Scotland ended up beating Poland 8-2. That was expected, to be honest with you, despite Poland's solid partnership of Christopher Satsy and Wada Sedanski. Czech Republic ended up using 8-6 to Sweden. I think that is a bit disappointing from Czech Republic. I would have fancied Czech Republic to get past Sweden personally. Wales, very disappointing time for Wales, especially with obviously Durham Price pulling out. But I think Durham Price has his reasons, and I think there's more to it, in my opinion. As I have mentioned before, I do think Durham Price will retire after the World Darts Championship this year. I think Durham Price will call it quits in darts. I really do. But he is an athlete. He's a sports athlete. We saw what he'd done in rugby. He was a winner in rugby, Darren Price. So it'd be interesting to see Darren Price's next journey if he does decide to quit that. Hopefully he doesn't. As much as he's a Welshman, I think he's been a breath of fresh air for that. I really do. His character, I love his words. I love his passion as well. Darren Price, I do love his passion. I love his words. I think people, for me, they've not really met Darren Price. Obviously, I'm not saying I've met Darren Price, but when I've seen Darren Price in interviews, I think to myself, what a nice guy. He's a nice guy, sound guy, honestly. Obviously, different animal when he's on stage. Different animal when he's on stage, but I love that. We don't want to be robots on stage. I love a bit of passion. I love a bit of passion on stage. Not the passion of Dimitri Van Berg and Tim Ibris, who they just overdo it, in my opinion, and it came back to bite them in the arse. But I do love the passion of Darren Price, and yeah, but we'll see what happens with Darren Price in terms of his future in darts. Hopefully he stays on, and that's an Englishman saying that. But I want Darren Price to stay on in darts because I think he'll be a massive miss to darts with his character as well and his passion and quality player. When he's on it, he's a brilliant player. And but anyways, on to Austria. Austria ended up beating the surprise packers of the tournament, Chinese Taipei. Chinese Taipei debut in the World Cup of Darts. We didn't know what to expect from them, and they did shock us all, didn't they? Chinese Taipei, obviously knocking out Republic of Ireland and Lithuania in the group stage, beating both of them, who, by the way, are no muds either. Both of them teams. This ended up being a step too far against Austria, especially with Mensahrovic's experience as a darts player as well. That helped Austria through massively. But yeah, what a tournament from Chinese Taipei. Definitely the team of the tournament, you have to say. Surprising a lot of people. Of course, Belgium, as I said earlier, smashing the Netherlands 8-2. Netherlands had a partnership of Mike van der and Danny Noppert. But if you look at the averages, Netherlands played well. Netherlands did play well. Belgium just hitting everything, weren't they? Belgium just hitting everything. So I don't want to see this nonsense of saying, oh, Danny Noppert's not a good enough partner for Van der. Belgium just hit everything against Van der and Noppert. It was just one of them games for Van der and Noppert where, what can we do? Italy ended up winning the last decider against the 2022 champions Australia, which was a huge shock in my opinion. Well, definitely, I won't say a huge shock, but definitely a shock in my opinion, because we would have fancied Australia to get past Italy. And in terms of how the group stages ended, Italy won their group. Portugal finished second, but with USA, the number 16 seeds, USA massively flopped with Jules Van Donden and Danny Alvey. In my opinion, it was a massive flop from them and probably one of the most disappointing teams in this tournament. In terms of Group K, I think Spain were disappointing as well. I expected more from Spain. I knew Gibraltar would be a bit of a tricky test for both teams. Well, it wasn't a tricky test for Sweden, but it was a tricky test for Spain. Because Gibraltar has been one of them teams where they can cause you problems in any group game, whichever group to win. So, but probably not a surprise really to see the seeds go through, but I did go for Spain to go through instead of Sweden. Group J, pretty much straightforward. France, well, I say straightforward, it was still tough for them. Latvia, Madis Razma did all the work for Latvia, he has to be real with his scoring power, and for me, Madis Razma, I've seen a lot of improvement in him as well. His scoring power was really up there with the top players. It's just his teammate was a slight letdown, but it was expected, to be honest with you. Denmark were a tricky test for both France and Latvia, weren't they? To be fair, France ended up winning the last set decider against Denmark, but France were already through once it went to the last set decider, so it wouldn't really mattered. Group I, Croatia won their group. Canada, very disappointing from Canada. I think we all expected better from Canada, to be honest with you. And then I had Canada to finish above Croatia and go through. But I don't know, Canada seems to be one of them teams where people pick them to do well, but they actually don't do well. But I think Croatia was always the toughest test for Canada, let's be real. Canada were quite lucky to even beat Malaysia, let's be real. So, again, I thought Canada were a bit disappointing. Group H, pretty much straightforward. Once Czech Republic made it hard work against Bahrain, in my opinion, but pretty much straightforward in the end for Czech Republic. Group G, Poland. Yeah, I'll say it pretty much straightforward for Poland as well in their group. They had a few problems against Norway, but they upped their game against Hungary and got through. Group F, Austria, pretty straightforward group for them. It was a pretty straightforward group for them, but I was quite disappointed with Diana. I thought Diana would have been better, to be honest with you. And I did not expect them to use a China, and we didn't. So I thought Diana were a bit disappointing after I thought they would be an intriguing team to watch. I didn't think they would go through from the group, but I thought it would cause more problems, in my opinion, with the partnership of Mahood and Fitzgerald. Group A, as I mentioned earlier, Chinese Taipei, for me, probably the team of the tournament. Despite they got knocked out in the last 16, no one expected them to get out of the group. Everyone expected them to finish bottom of the group. No one knew who Chinese Taipei were, and they ended up beating two solid teams in Republic of Ireland and Lithuania. Lithuania is a solid partnership of Darius Avnastis and Barry Assets. Republic of Ireland with their partnership with Team Barry and William O'Connor. So I hope we see more of Chinese Taipei, both of their players in the World Darts Championship qualifiers as well. Hopefully they qualify the World Darts Championship because they'll be ones to look out for. Group D, Australia. They found it tough, didn't they? They just found it tough to get through this group. Hong Kong caused a few problems for Australia. Japan even caused them, sent them to the last set decider. It was the last set decider against Australia. And Japan had missed match starts to beat Australia as well. So Australia were probably quite lucky to even get through from the group, to be honest with you. Group C, Germany had to win a last set decider against UC, and a very good UC inside with Harpai Puha and Ben Wobb, which is a very good, two very good players and good partnership as well. As you see there, UC and obviously thrashed Finland 4-0. And Germany, once Germany got the win over UC, and Germany probably knew, yeah, we're through. Because Finland were never going to cause any tests or problem to Germany. Group B, Northern Ireland, who were one of my most intriguing teams to watch. And to be fair, I think they've had a good tournament, Northern Ireland, to be fair. Got knocked out to the tournament favourites as well. Let's be real. And the tournament favourites ended up winning the whole tournament. And they had a few problems in South Africa, didn't they, Northern Ireland? South Africa were quite underrated this tournament. And Switzerland. But then, once it went to the last set decided, then Switzerland, Northern Ireland already knew they were through. So, then it wouldn't really matter if Northern Ireland lost that then than Switzerland. But Switzerland, they weren't a bad team either, to be fair. And finally, Group A, we saw Belgium win the group. Had a few problems in the first game, then Singapore, Paul Yim and Harry Yim, who were a very good experienced partnership for Singapore. Paul Yim was pretty regenerated, wasn't he? He was regenerated, taking out Tom Plus checkout as well. And every time I see Paul Yim, he's like he's getting under. It's weird. Even though he's 70 years old, he looks like he's getting under, Paul Yim. It's like he's regenerating. And but obviously Philippines got a 4-1 win over Singapore. And Belgium obviously ended up beating Philippines quite comfortably 4-0. So that is pretty much my PC World Cup of Darts gone through. So if you watch this on playback, feel free to leave your thoughts down below in the comments on the tournament. Down below in the comments. So take care, stay safe. So yeah, this will be my final video of the day. I know I've done a lot of videos today. So take care, stay safe. So yeah, and the next tournament preview I'll be doing will be for the PDC World Mass Play, which will be middle of July, I think it is. I think it's in the middle of July. So stay tuned for that. And yeah, take care and see you later.